for listening to the Mountainside Podcast, and joining us back in studio is my good friend, Whitney Johns. She's an absolute savage in the best way, whether it's tackling business, being publicized on the cover of multiple health and wellness publications. She's the founder and creator of Whitney Johns Nutrition, focusing on brain health, human performance, gut health, and hormonal balance. But above all that, I always enjoy any time I get to spend with Whit. This was an incredible conversation. We dove all over the place today, and I had an absolute blast with her. Enjoy the episode. Welcome back.
How's it going?
Round 2.
It's so good to be back. I love
excellent.
this place. Yeah.
So I get to hang out with you twice in 1 week.
I know. 1 week, see you twice. It must be a good week.
Cheers.
Cheers. What a night that was.
Yes.
That was insanity. And
did you guys have fun?
Oh my God, we had the best time.
I had the best weekend.
We were very honored that we could be the ones to go on that little adventure with you, because we got treated like royalty that whole night. And what a show. Metallica,
oh my God. They were
Pantera.
They're incredible. Like, I was actually shocked. I didn't know what to expect. Like, I went both nights, and you would think,
which night was better?
For me, definitely, I think the set list was better on the second night, and it was more heavy. Mm-hmm. Like, they opened the show with Whiplash. Come on.
That was pretty gangster.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then that record came out in like 83, and I started listening to it in like 85.
You said, you're like, this is my favorite album of theirs. Like, it just
start to stop.
Set the whole night was
But
amazing.
then that whole set list, and then just having you guys there, that was rad.
So fun.
Yeah. Pantera
was sick.
Suicidal. Like,
yes. I didn't get to actually, I think that was the first time I've ever seen Pantera. I've seen Metallica before. But just legends in the metal world.
Metallica is so good.
They're just so good live. Like, you can't even tell that it's not a recording.
They're better live.
It's insane. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's an incredible show.
James, he is incredible shape. I feel like a lot of rock stars, sort of let the years start to weather you pretty badly. And you can tell that he really takes care of himself. Mm-hmm. He's like, I like that. That was cool to see. Because, touring like that for so many years, it takes
I don't think they were always like that, but I think he kind of sobered up to it. And kind of a cool, fun fact about him is he spends most of his time here in Colorado.
In Vail? Is that where they are?
Somewhere around there, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty big spread. But lives in like a really modest house that he built himself, and like heats it with firewood.
No way.
Has no internet.
No shit.
He has no social media.
I love that.
He's like,
I'm trying
I don't need
to be under
anymore.
the radar. Yeah. I don't need to be recognized any more than I already am.
Oh, he's recognized everywhere.
Yeah,
those guys literally can't go anywhere. Incredible crew, just people, everybody down there. Shout out to everybody that hooked me up.
Shout out to
that
all
I was
people.
then in turn able to hook you up.
You were also like the mayor. Everywhere we went, you were like, "Hey, oh my gosh, how are you? How are the kids?" You just knew everybody.
Some of those people I've had like relationships with for 30 plus years. You know,
cool.
So
it's cool.
It's a pretty cool industry.
Yeah,
it's a very cool industry actually.
Very, very cool.
And then having that royal treatment is nice. I
don't
like going to shows without it.
We didn't have to stand in all those lines, and I was like, "Can we get a beer? I really needed a beer." You're like, sure, we'll just zip in here, and there's a friends and family bar for the musicians.
That was the hardest part. Is like everybody has this misconception that like backstage is just wild, right? And there's like literally nothing going on.
Literally, people are just
there.
Sitting around,
no
waiting
alcohol
to do their jobs.
No drinking,
hardly any alcohol. It actually was a little bit harder to find than I thought. It's like I figured people would be like snorting lines back here. Right. What's happening? Where's the party?
So boring, yeah.
It's so corporate now.
So boring, yeah.
Especially
those
operation.
old guys. They got to perform.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was epic. I had such an incredible weekend. I think looking back on it, like one of the coolest moments for me was at the end of the night. It was the last song. And that little girl, I was crying.
I know.
I was like tears running down. I was like, I cried at a Metallica concert.
This little girl she was from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, right?
Yep.
And that was like her thing. She wanted to come to a Metallica concert, and she was so sweet. She was giving out little pins. I actually have the pin in my little
set
bag.
it up here with all of our challenge coins.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
I wish I knew her name so we could shout her out.
I know. She was precious.
Yeah, super rad though. So I don't know if you noticed, like her thing was art. So she likes to listen to Metallica and draw.
Well, she's like, yeah, which is what she was doing.
Right.
Because at first I was like, wait, I don't know if she's very interested in the show. But that's her thing, is she'll go and create art with the sound to it.
So cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, super rad. I was very honored when she gave me that. It was like the coolest thing I got.
Yeah.
Out of all the cool stuff that we got.
That
meant the most to me.
And then, Bobby's over here, the guitar pick Santa Claus. We had so many guitar picks, Metallica custom guitar picks for the Denver show, and all kinds of different variations of it. And you just start going up to like kids that were like air guitaring and so excited, and you're like, here's a guitar pick. There was a couple times, because it was really sweet, a lot of the kids were like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then there was a couple parents that were like, hey, what is that?
Yeah. Like a man
who's this random guy bringing you?
No, I figured out real quick, like, I love
Somebody looked at you real funny for a second and was like, what did you just give to my kid? Like,
right.
It's like a stranger, here's a piece of candy.
A big guy dressed in all black, right? With a Metallica laminate.
Literally. They're like, who the hell is this guy?
That's so
Watch
funny.
out for that guy. He's a predator.
No, I love giving it to like kids and stuff like that, because
you
got to
made their
inspire
life.
the metal,
Yes.
right? Like we got to keep this going,
Yes.
right? Future
Yes.
generations.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love hooking people up. Like it was a blast. It was more fun for me having you guys there and giving those
So
kids
fun.
and the cops and stuff. But like, look at what you get in return. These are, I don't know if you saw these.
Oh, yeah. Is this what
Denver
the
PD hooked me
cops
up with
gave
these.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well,
cool.
like you said, you're like, let's hook up the cops with some shit, because they literally get nothing. Like they
Right.
don't get any of the like.
They get hated is
They
what
just
they
get
get.
hate and harassment, and it was really cool to kind of just. I saw your how much you valued giving back to them.
It's what it's all about. Like
Yeah.
I have so much stuff from over the years. It's like I don't need to collect
More
anymore,
swag.
you know what I mean?
I mean, there's
It's
more
like-
places in here I guess you could put them, but where'd you
Right.
put all those guitar picks?
I gave them away, most of them. Like I mean,
There was a bunch.
literally I got like, I probably shouldn't say this because I don't want anybody to get in trouble, but I got like all the leftovers were just handed to me. Like the band doesn't need them. Like, so
They're like, do
I'm going to
something
go
with
hook
this.
up kids. And
Yeah.
then I took Eric Tilley. So I took my son on Friday night
Mm-hmm.
and Tilley and his son had a box. So we ran up during the show.
Oh, fun.
And we're able to give him some picks. So that
That's
was super
cool.
cool. You know, you got to hook up the homies.
Yes.
And then there were so many people that were there that I have a little pile left that I'm going to hook up with like some kids and stuff that were there that I didn't get a chance to see and stuff, but we know personally or something like that. So
I love it.
yeah, super cool. Little
Yeah.
memento.
Little
you know,
memento.
directly
Actually,
from the band.
literally, like the best souvenir you can
Yeah.
get.
Tell me about these
Hold
straws.
on, I gotta put one in your drink.
Okay.
So I brought you I brought you 2 presents.
Okay.
Actually.
Thank you. I love
So
presents.
my supplement line, Whitney John's Nutrition. This is our newest product that I'm like crazy about. It's a gut health straw. If I can get it out of this packaging. Trying to do it with.
I'm not scared if you touch mine.
I'm like,
so.
well, sorry, I'm touching it.
After everything we went through the other night, I think we're good.
There we go. So you put this in your drink.
Okay.
It's actually going to flavor it. It's so in the lining of the straw, there's 60 billion probiotics.
Okay.
There are 4 grams of dietary fiber and prebiotic fiber to be specific. And licorice root, there's lemon oil in it. It's all natural. It's sweetened with monk fruit. It will dissolve into your drink, your beverage, whether it's
Okay.
water
So
or a
as I just
cocktail.
suck through it, or
Let it sit for like a minute,
Okay.
a minute or 2.
Becca, you want one of these?
Do you want to try it? They're really good.
Put it in your Red
They
Bull.
make it. You put it in your water, and it makes it taste like a sweet lemonade.
Nice.
But what's really the benefit is it not only tastes good, so you're going to hydrate more, but gut health is so important. And I don't know how much you do or do not know about gut health, but it is.
I should pay more attention to it.
It's
probably.
massively important, and it's one of the best things you could do for your wellness, your metabolism, your hormone health, your aging, the inflammation levels in your body. So we wanted to make it more accessible, easier for people to just have like their daily dose, stick it in a beverage, drink it down. It's fun, it's yummy, it makes it fun. So the probiotics are adding good bacteria back into your gut. So we have our microbiome in our gut, which basically is like the control command center for all of the health functions in your body. It requires a vast array of bacteria, good bacteria. It helps you break your food down, all the nutrition that you're getting. And the prebiotic fiber is actually the food for the bacteria. So it's what the bacteria eat to stay alive well. So a lot of people will take a probiotic, but they miss that prebiotic fiber piece. 90% of Americans don't get enough fiber in their diet. And if we could fix that one problem, it would actually cure so much disease. It would vastly improve the mental health in the world. Because your gut health, all of your happy chemicals for your brain are created in your gut. So if you have a terrible gut bacteria environment, you're going to have depression issues, anxiety, not, brain fog, not the ability to focus well. But then you're also going to have, bloating. You're going to have metabolism issues where you can't break down your food. So you're gaining a lot of weight. So it really affects everything. It'll whack your hormones out. So it's really important.
So it all kind of starts with your gut.
It really does. It's like kind of that command center for the rest of
I believe in that so much because that's why I eat a certain way and stick to a really regimented diet and normally don't consume alcohol that much. Like I'm really enjoying this drink with you. And we're going to keep going. But, so do I drink through the straw?
So you'll kind of see it dissolves into your water. It'll sort of like get a little cloudier. That's sort of the lemon flavoring and the fiber.
Nice.
Now sip through. And it adds this little lemony. We had a little lime in there.
This would be killer for water, I bet.
It's amazing for water. It's this kind of with the little lime. There's like a few flavors happening, but it is amazing.
That's rad.
And it starts to taste like just like this sweet lemonade.
Do you mind if I stick it in my water?
Put it in your water.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot better in water.
Do that. Should I rock it the other way? Maybe.
Yeah, you can flip the straw too. What I always say is drink. You can do the full dose is 22 ounces, so you could fill up your water bottle a few times.
Okay.
And then keep flipping the straw. It'll keep dissolving into the water.
Nice.
That'll be the full dose.
And it's not plastic, by the way. It seems
Nope.
like cardboard
it's a very structured paper straw that doesn't break down. So it's not one of those annoying straws that literally just starts.
I hate those bullshit ones.
Them. I hate them. But these are not that. These
Hell
actually,
yeah. No, that's super clever idea.
Yeah, I wanted you to try them.
And it's probably something I should pay attention to more, but I know for a fact, like I want to be on my A game, especially at the podcast. And like cognitively is huge. And if my gut is messed up, I'm no more miserable than when I'm like traveling and I'm eating shitty and I feel shitty.
Totally.
And it's like, it's just miserable.
The travel thing is terrible. This is one of the things this is cool for is like it's portable, it's on the go. Because when you travel, how many people get like stopped up on travel? Like they just can't, they're not digesting as well. They're feeling super bloated. They maybe didn't go to the bathroom that day, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And because travel does that and that inflammation. So this is a really good way to just get things moving. And cognitively, like you need to be on your A game. Your gut-brain connection it's so interconnected, right? Like I said, all of that
old saying of trust your gut is
trust
real.
Your gut is like literally your intuition. It's a cellular response to what you already kind of know, right? So, they also say one way to improve your gut health is literally be around people that make you feel good, and your intuition is saying good things about them. Green flag people. That's actually.
You're definitely one of those.
Yeah, same. You know, it's like you have those people in your life where you're just like, I don't know why, but I just fuck with that person because they're cool, they're good energy, and they're authentic, right? So something is resonating with you. That is your body's cellular messaging to you of saying like, let's have more of this. I like the frequency they're on. I like the vibration that's coming from them and what we're creating together. And it's like that, even that alone can help optimize your hormones and your, you know.
That's crazy. I mean, that's really what I get from this podcast with every guest. It's like, I don't want to have them on if I don't have like,
I mean, have you ever had a guest like that where you were just like,
oh man,
this conversation is not it.
I've had a few, but very, very few.
It's always awkward where you're just like, okay, let's just get through it.
Honestly, and I'm going to put him on blast. Derek Wolf was like that the first time I had him in. I've only had him in one time, but I was fucking nervous. And I don't think he had done very many podcasts at that point. So I think he was nervous. But a nervous Derek Wolf with those ice blue eyes and like...
just this massive mountain of a man. And
I swear to God...
you're like, is he going to kill me?
Well, he was like looking through the back of my skull. I think he was that nervous. I think when he gets nervous, he probably gets...
That's funny.
Like on edge, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. How could you not after having a career like he's had and all that sort of stuff? So, So to date, that was one of my...
Was it just awkward?
It was just awkward. Like I was asking stupid questions.
You kind of are freezing up also.
I fucked up so many times. So I want that one back. I can't wait to have Derek back on because we've hung out so many times outside of the podcast.
Now I need to see that. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's hard to picture because he's very like, you know, easy in front of the camera normally, but maybe it was just like a weird...
It could have been a bad day. Who knows? You know, like we all have them. Like I've had them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I really have to like check myself before I come in. I have some checks and balances. I have to go to the gym. I have to be outside for a certain amount of time, no matter how cold, how hot. And then I typically like to do the podcast fasted. If it's really like later in the day, I'll do, you know, like a really, really small meal or something like that. But
just so your cognitive function is up. Okay, this is why you're going to love this. So this is the other present that I brought you.
Hell yeah.
This is also from my line. These are like the top 2 sellers of the line. They're really the favorites right now. But this is called Brain Activate. I specifically was like, of all the products, I'm going to send Bobby this one because this is a nootropic and it turns your brain on. It actually, there's brain scans that we can show you of your brain, actually areas of your brain that are like firing because there's MCT oil. There's all the ingredients are meant to nourish your brain health. And then also it puts you in that ketogenic state. So it's actually, there's some benefits for fat burning.
Really?
Yeah, it's great for like fasted workouts, fasted interviews. Anytime you need to be on and you need to be thinking really clearly, have good focus, that is when you want to do it. It doesn't have any stimulants or caffeine, so you could also take it later in the day. But it's a sustainable energy that lasts for even like up to 8 hours. That is just like a nice, clear-headed. I put it in coffee as.
So, would you recommend don't take it before you go to bed, or like?
I wouldn't say don't do it before you go to bed, not because of the stimulant factor, but it does wake your brain up to where your mind's gonna be thinking of all of the things, and they're gonna be. You might have some rad inspiration, but if if you have insomnia, then I wouldn't recommend that. I would say do it earlier in the day. But it is amazing.
So my daily routine is typically up in the morning, and I'm considering cutting out coffee. So this might be a really good alternative. But I do an MTC oil and grass-fed butter in my coffee to get like the day started.
This is a very similar effect of what that is doing. The reason why you do that, because I used to do that too, like the bulletproof coffee
they're actually
concept.
A sponsor of ours, which they've been awesome.
They're awesome.
And I love their products.
I love and they're right on par with, they're feeding your brain the nutrition that it needs.
Right.
Those fats. So for you to say, okay, I don't like to eat a heavy meal before I go on podcast because I like to, it's probably because your cognitive function fires better when you're being fueled from fats versus carbs and sugars and that glucose, right? So you don't want to have that glucose spike and that crash, which is totally a thing. And this is going to give you that kind of high fat focus.
I can't wait to try this because
you're going to love it.
I've been taking these for a few years and also part of my routine is to take a nootropic before the podcast. And it helps so much with speech for me because
Otherwise, you're flubbing up like, yeah.
Like me and all my friends, we've been hitting the heads.
Hitting the heads?
Hitting the head a lot of times.
What does that mean? Oh, hitting the head. I'm like, wait.
Friends and heads.
Literally
right?
getting their heads hit. Yeah,
maybe I need some more. Maybe I need to take some of that right now so I can get my speech on par. But
well, I sponsor a lot of fighters too because of that.
Okay.
We work with a lot of fighters. I'm very passionate about helping fighters because I see how much they go through, right? And
firsthand.
Oh yeah. And they're, and a lot of times for not a lot of money. A lot of these people are fucking fighting for their lives,
crazy.
literally like survival they're fighting, right? So, and they're some of the most talented, beautiful people. And it's like, I want to make sure that they're being nourished in the way because there's the overtraining. They're driving themselves into the ground sometimes with the overtraining. They're getting hit in the head, the damage that they're taking. So I'm really keen on the Brain Activate for fighters. The fighters are starting to get they're starting to understand the importance of gut health and how that impacts their hormones, also their weight cuts, their performance. And then our nitric oxide booster is really good for that too. The blood flow, it helps with their VO2 max and their cardio and their recovery. So
your supplement line is like one of a kind because I don't think that there's too many supplements companies out there that are focusing on it's kind of like overall like mental wellness kind of, right? Because like the gut is tied to the brain.
It's all tied together. The gut, brain,
oxygen,
hormone, heart, and oxygenation.
Yeah.
That's because, with my background, so I did pro bodybuilding and I was in the fitness world. I was a trainer. I was working as kind of like a trainer to a lot of celebrities actually in LA. And in that world of just like appearance and just, definitely more materialistic approach to fitness. And then with the bodybuilding also, I just saw so many quick fixes and actually really extreme measures that people were taking.
Like eating disorders and stuff like that?
Eating disorders, even health products that are marketed as great for you, but they're terrible for, your hormonal factors, your hormone, your metabolism, your holistic health, right? And a lot of these like
the fat
burners, like high stimulants, these pre-workouts that are just like insane and just packed with so much crap and chemicals and just shit that's not good for you. But it might be able to get you to a place where you can look good, like you look good enough to get on stage, but that person inside is literally crumbling. Like they're about to have a huge metabolic damage because of all the overtraining. Their adrenals are completely shot. Mm-hmm. Their gut health is totally haywire because they're eating all this sugar-free stuff that's just to get to a calorie deficit.
Well, they got to put something else in place of it. That's my issue with it. Like when I did a keto diet for a while, it was like, oh, here's the keto cheesecake.
Yes.
And I'm like,
you're like, that's
what
not
the fuck
good
are
for
we
your
doing
health?
here?
Like, what about
like how many chemicals
aspect?
are in this, or like how much stevia is actually in this?
It's not about just calories in, calories out, and your caloric total. And I think that's what I saw was like that focus on be in a calorie deficit, no matter the cost to your gut and hormones and all of the rest. And then it was like, cool, you get on stage, and then you have this horrible like just backlash on people they will yo-yo into like major gaining of weight.
It happen with so many celebrities.
Water retention, they'll just yo-yo because you can't sustain that level.
I need to do a private consult with you at some point.
I would love to hope.
I'm going to ask you a million questions right now. We might just do it right here. What is your take on like intermittent fasting and stuff like that?
I think there's some cellular detox benefits for sure. I think I have mixed feelings about it for women just because of the cortisol that it can spike for, and how that can damage our hormones. I think that women actually I feel like I wouldn't recommend it so much for women. I think a 12-hour fast like overnight is fine, but once you're getting into these 20-hour fasts and you have like a 4-hour eating window, it's really extreme. And like for me, I'm a hungry monster, right? I have to eat like every 2 to 3 hours or I'm a fucking bitch, right? That's just how my body works. Yeah. And I eat a lot. People are like, oh, you must be dieting all the time. I'm like, no, I eat a lot. I just eat in the right amounts of things, right? if I were to fast, my cortisol levels would spike. My blood sugar, the glucose issues is a whole different component. And it doesn't go well for me. A lot of women can actually be that way as well. It's not nurturing that hormonally balanced homeostasis, that state of homeostasis where women need to be sort of a little more nurtured in these markers. For men, some men, it can work pretty well depending on how you run, and it just depends on your body's reaction to it. But there are definitely some cellular detoxification benefits, for sure. And ultimately, it's a tool that can help some people if they just know, I only have this small eating window. It's going to make sure that they do end up in a calorie deficit because they didn't have the opportunity to eat the rest of the day. Whereas the rest of the day, on a normal day, if they're not fasting, they might be grazing, snacking, picking up something at the gas station, a fucking latte here. You know what I mean? So the calories will add up. So I think it lends itself to like a caloric deficiency, and you'll end up there. But I don't know that it's the best thing for your holistic health, depending on how you respond to it. But
I think I do it more for like cognitively.
Yeah.
And like ease. Like it's not so much, I guess, a dieting thing for me. It's like I just get so much more shit done when I don't have to focus on like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
having
Eating as
breakfast,
often as
like
I do.
Black coffee.
It's a full-time job.
Where's my bulletproof at? Put it in the coffee and then
yeah.
I'm
well, the
good
nice
till
thing
like
about
3
those
o'clock
fats,
or something,
the fact that you're doing the fats in the morning
It's not really
helps.
a true fast then, is it? I guess.
No, I mean, there's debates on that.
Yeah.
But I do think that that's the only way that I recommend it. If a client's like, I want to intermittent fast, it just works better for me. I'm like, well, at least have some MCT oil or some fats in the morning. So then you actually have some sort of fuel. Because you can also get into like that starvation mode where I've seen people try it and then their body goes into starvation mode. It freaks out. Your cortisol spikes. And because you're like, I don't know when my next meal is. I'm fucking starving. Right. And so then they actually hold on to fat. So it actually will backfire on them. They're trying to like boost their metabolism. It will really slow it down.
Yeah.
So I have some mixed, it depends on the person. And I think that, when you're working with a doctor that can do blood work and an anti-aging doctor that knows what's going on. I think
that's huge is like, because everybody's so different. Like really find somebody like yourself or some sort of professional in that field and then pair that with blood work. Like actual blood work. Yes. And there's so many third-party companies out there that do it now. Yeah. It's fucking amazing.
From home.
Like from where we're at. Yeah. Like there's DNA tests. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that you can do to figure out a lot of different stuff.
Because everything is individual. You know, like that's the biggest thing. I can give you a personalized diet plan and workout plan, but when I need to know also what's happening with your blood work. And like, let's look at those markers. I need to know what's happening with your hormones. Are your hormones balanced? Are they not? Then that would change my prescription for you based on what's happening in your blood work.
Right.
So, and everybody's individual. I just did this test with Elixium. Shout out Elixium. They're one of my.
I'm actually need to go see them like next
They're amazing.
Week. Yeah.
So they've been a provider for me, and a number of clients for just optimizing in little areas. And they did a genetic test that was really interesting because they can literally break down, okay, what your genetic mutations are, if you have any, which everybody does, to one degree or another. And it means it will basically prime you for certain disorders, certain disease, certain deficiencies based on just your genetics. So then what they do is they'll review your genetics and what the results are. And then they will prescribe, and they have these tailored supplements based on different genetic mutations. So it's kind of cool because they can, down to your genes, they can give you a more accurate kind of prescription. So you pair that with your current hormone panel and what's happening with your endocrine system, and then you can really optimize. I mean, there's so many tools now, and I feel like everybody needs to just make it a non-negotiable once a year blood work.
Absolutely. I think that there's so many people that don't take health as a priority, and it's not fucking easy like I have in the last couple of years, and I'm nowhere exactly where I want to be. But I also don't want to like fast track there because I think there's so much snake oil and stuff out there that can get you very fast results and like all that sort of stuff.
But it won't sustain.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want a sustainable approach. But I do think that that's kind of where it starts. I mean, if your hormones are working against you, then you're going to kind of have an issue. Like if you're like you're doing all the things
taste
right.
it now.
Can you?
Yeah.
So pick this up.
Okay.
See how this flavoring is starting to come into it.
Yep.
See that? There you go.
Nice.
So that's where the flavoring is. So it'll probably be a little stronger now that you.
No, it was super strong. It tastes really good.
I love it.
I couldn't taste it with the tequila and the element salt mixed in because we didn't have lime juice. Like, we're getting crazy here. No, that's awesome. Yes. Yeah, thank you for bringing those. What an awesome idea too. And it's like I love the stuff on the go. Like the element salt packets have been huge for me. I'm using those a lot for hydration. And then recently started using creatine on a pretty regular basis.
That's definitely a staple.
Jocko, one of our sponsors, has individual packets, which I love because there's nothing worse than looks like you have cocaine everywhere.
Tub.
You're like trying to travel with a tub or a little individual packet, and it's a white powdery substance. It's like
TSA is like, what
packets
is
are
this?
just tear, and you pour in your bottle. It's like
it is all about like the individual kind of the travel friendly. Because everybody's on the go now.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's on the go. So that's what we're leaning more towards. We have more straws coming out. We have more single serve like gels that are cool that I'll bring you too. Of the Brain Activate that are coming out. Yeah.
Awesome. So it's like a gel, like you just squeeze it in your mouth like goo or...
Exactly. Like the goos. Like those...
Frog fuel or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So...
I love all that on the go stuff because I can just literally put it in my backpack. Like, I'll stock up for the week and then I don't even have to think about like, oh shit, I left it at home or it's.
I know you should see me when I pack my supplements. Chris is always like, you are the bag lady. Because I'll have like bags of this and then labels and it's just a pain in the ass. It's like, it's better if you could just get the travel.
Absolutely. Yeah. The intermittent fasting thing, too, another thing to take it back to that, one reason why I kind of picked it back up a little bit was we had this kid, Casey West, on. And he had this crazy, like, brain tumor and was given, like, 3 months to live. And he's now going on, like, 6 years with no chemo, no radiation and stuff. But he's doing, like, hyperbaric chamber, his own IVs. Like, I don't know how often he does an IV, but, like, the methylene blue thing, the whole, all of that. But he thinks one of the things that's helped him the most is fasting, like starving cancer a little bit. Like I don't think it's a bad thing.
Like
to
a cellular thing.
Yeah.
No. And I feel like for certain health conditions too, that can be really positive. Same thing with like a ketogenic diet or a totally carnivore or a completely carb free or low carb diet. Those were prescribed for people like with, I think they're having amazing results with epilepsy, with certain brain conditions, when you're fueled more by the fats. That's the better nutrition for your brain than the glucose, right? So for certain health conditions, absolutely. Or like, the carnivore diet, there's some positives there too. But also it depends on what you're dealing with. Like it really depends on your own biochemistry, if you're dealing with disease or not. That'll change the results of how it affects you and how beneficial it really is. But I love that. It seems like it's working for you and it works for your lifestyle.
It is, but the problem is like the moment that I get off of it, I have like drastic weight gain, I guess, So it's like you have to have some sort of like
that,
if I veer off of it, like if I stay regimented and everything that I need to do, but like. This past year, I've been dealing with a shoulder injury for a little over a year now. And I was like, okay, I got to get this fixed. It's not getting any better. Archery's my life, right?
That
like that's what I love to do. And it affected my hunting season last season to the point where I didn't feel comfortable like taking shots on animals because I'm a firm believer in ethics. And so my kill box was a lot smaller than what it used to be, right? So it makes it 3-4 times harder to hunt.
Right.
Yeah. To get that close to animals, like For me anyways, I'm a big guy, not a former SEAL or, one of these stealth bow hunters like Tom Clum or somebody like that. So yeah, anyways, it just affected me last year so much that I was pissed off. So as soon as hunting season was over, I was like, all right, I'm really going to focus on this.
Yeah.
So I went to my doc. I was like, hey, let's get an MRI. Let's do the full 9. And I started with not strength and conditioning, PT. PT, yeah. Physical therapy. Went to some awesome people, but they all told me, like, stop working out for, like, just stop. Like, no more overhead stuff, no more bench press, no more.
Certain movements, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. And let it heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that wasn't good for me because everything I was doing was, like, body weight. And then it just kind of wasn't getting better. Right? And so finally I just said, fuck it. After that 3 months, I had a drastic, like, weight gain back because I can gain weight, like, super easy.
Because were you just not exercising at that point, or were you?
No, I was still like hikes. It was also winter time too, so it's a lot harder, right? So like,
not a lot of resistance training.
Yeah, so I do a lot of body weight stuff. Like I'm big on the body armor workout. I love that just because it's grueling and it sucks the whole time, and it like puts you in your place, and you can do it anywhere. There's no excuse. Like all you can do it with the TRX in your
just
hotel room.
Reps
So yeah, it's super simple. Like put your backpack on. Like you don't need a bulletproof vest to go run in or anything like that, right? So it's just simple thing, and there's no excuses. So I was doing that a lot, but it involved a lot of like shoulder mobility with pull-ups and
the body weight
push-ups
stuff. It's like
and all that sort of stuff.
Shoulder. Yeah.
So finally, I wasn't getting better, and I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go back to just doing it slowly." So I started back slowly, and then automatically, I just started dropping weight again, and then really watching what I eat too. But yeah, I'm getting strength back now to where it's like, all right, I'm feeling back to good. But I want to go to Elixium for some peptides. I think.
I was gonna say, have you tried any of the peptides? Like
I haven't, but I sent my wife down there. Yeah, and she still dances ballet and has had a crazy career. Like her body's pretty messed up from like just being a ballerina her whole life. Right? Yeah. I didn't marry her for her feet, that's for sure. No disrespect, babe. But yeah, I mean, just like the contortion on the body and the stuff that she can do with her body is not what a normal person could do. So she tore like something in her hip or something like that, right? Yeah. And went and got the MRI, and I don't think it was bad enough that they wanted to do surgery right away, but they were like, yeah, surgery is probably the option, but you could try physical therapy and you can try some of this other stuff. So I was like, you should really try peptides. And she said within 24 hours of me sending her to Elixium, she was like, I was feeling like I felt like almost instant relief after the first shot. And I was like,
peptides
that's crazy.
Help a lot. And like I was saying, there's so many tools. Like for you to get on like a BPC, I don't know what she was on, but probably something
157 and TB 500.
Yes,
yep.
Those are incredible. And they will help. They're also great because they will literally just heal ligaments, wounds, tears, little tiny micro tears. BPC is really good for the gut. Like I'm dealing with some tendinitis, really bad tendinitis randomly. It's killing my bow.
Yeah.
Archery, like I can't.
Archery is brutal. I was trying to it can be brutal on your body,
Well, and I got tendinitis originally during like my fight camps, and then they went away after that, and then it's been like 2 years, and all of a sudden it is back with a fucking vengeance, right? So I go to Elixium.
You can always dial the poundage down on your bow too. You know that, right? Like
you can
adjust.
Feels really wimpy.
It sucks. I know.
Feels really wimpy. Yeah. But I could try that. But I'm trying to see if I can just fix this fucking tendinitis. I mean, when I say like just picking up a bottle.
Really?
And squeezing, it's that bad right now.
Well, that's how my shoulder was. Like even just, now I have full range of motion, but just to hold my own arm weight up was like, it hurt. It was uncomfortable. Like
you need a little like BPC.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going this week. Yeah. I have no excuses.
Because you can also site inject too. Okay. Because BPC is amazing for the gut. I love the gut benefits anyways. But it actually does help go and repair the gut lining really well.
Really? I didn't know it helped with that.
Yeah, it's incredible for that.
What about, there's also some people taking some peptides for like weight loss and stuff like that.
Yeah, all the GLP-1s.
Okay.
And I think those are an amazing tool for people that need them. And I think that obviously we are in sort of a culture now where everybody's using them, whether they're fucking need it or not, right? But I think like for people that really need it, it is an amazing kickstart. I just always prescribe, like, please resistance train 3 times a week. Do you know what those do to your bone density? It actually like diminishes bone density like crazy, right? So people that are just
the peptides do
like the Ozempics of the world.
Oh, right. Is Ozempic
the GLP
a peptide?
ones. Yeah,
it is.
It is a peptide.
No shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I think it's great. It's an amazing tool, but also be doing the diet and get your nutrition right.
Okay.
And also dial in resistance training, whether it's body weight resistance, whether it's you're lifting at the gym, just something to where you're protecting your bone density and your muscle mass from all of the atrophy that can happen. Because then you're starting to see people now that have been taking the Ozempics or, GLP-1s and their bone density is shot, and so now they're getting injured, and all of a sudden there's these crazy breaks happening. Their muscle mass and their muscle density is diminished so much and atrophying so much that if the minute they get off of it, their metabolism's now shot, because like we know the more muscle you have, the higher metabolism you have, the more calories you're burning at a resting rate, right? So their muscle tissue is so shot. As soon as they get off the peptide, they blow back up. So I think that there's a sustainable way to do it, and there's a shortcut way to do it. And you can decide which one requires a little more work and a little more intention, but like you're going to maintain your results because like, okay, you just dropped how much weight, all that stubborn weight.
I think people want to pound ice cream and take a pill and be skinny, right? They want to look like Whitney Johns. Like, I think that's most Americans are. And they want that magic thing.
The magic pill.
Right.
Without having to do the little things. But I'm like, even if it's just a few times a week, like,
well,
just get that
cognitively
part.
too. That's why it's like part of my checklist. It's like cognitively, if I don't work out for a day, maybe I've got back-to-back flights and then a meeting or a podcast or something like that where I can't get to the gym or outside or even just
move your body.
That's why I love the body armor workout, because I can bang out 100
I need
push-ups.
to look. I need to check that out. Is it just basically like all body weight?
So it was a Navy SEAL workout. It's the Murf. I don't know if you've checked out any of that. It's
basically
the
like 100
Murphy.
Squats, 100 push-ups, 100.
So it's starts with a mile run.
Fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah.
I wasn't built to run.
I wasn't either, and I hate it, but I do it just because I hate
shadow
it.
box instead?
Yeah, why not? I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? This is America. So it's a mile run, and then it's 100 pull-ups. You're supposed to do it in a 25-pound
pull-ups. Also, I'm
25 pound. Well, I'm still working on it, right? So this was like when I went to all these doctors and stuff, because I was gaining weight and I had hypertension that ran in the family and all this stuff. And I've talked about it ad nauseum on the podcast, but to give you the brief deal is I was overweight, having kids, like changes your life drastically. You're not as active. I was then coming off the road and I was doing more like a desk job more than anything, right? So like becoming more sedentary
lifestyle is a killer.
Still active and still ate. Like I didn't feel like I really ate outside of the box, but I would like, if I don't eat like super clean, like at least 6 days a week,
totally,
I will gain weight. Like if I slip up for 2 days, my gains
2 days in a row
are fucked.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And some people are a little more sensitive to it than others. It also depends on your inflammatory response or how carb sensitive you are.
That's the biggest thing for me. I get like inflammation, like joint pain, like all kinds of crazy, like shoulder pain.
Yeah. You should try that. You should try that genetics test.
Yeah.
But then also get your, some lab work. Like I am also big on inflammation. Like I've always had that propensity. Yeah. One of the reasons why I got into fitness was because I dealt with horrible chronic pain, really like bad gut health, hormone health, mental health as a young person. And I had these crazy struggles, horrible chronic pain, always inflamed, always just like this terrible quality of life, to be honest. And I had to figure it out because it was like, you go to the doctor, nothing's wrong with you, you don't have cancer, whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't feel good. I feel horrible and terrible migraines. So for me, I got really nerdy about the supplementation, the nutrition aspect. Half of it, and that's why I'm so passionate about gut health, is gut health literally saved my life. I went from like suicidal ideation and terrible quality of life.
I remember you saying that in the last podcast, that fitness saved your life.
It really did.
Cool.
And I think like that's one of the reasons why these were the things I wanted to focus on. When I came out with the product line, it wasn't the fat burners and proteins that I wanted to get out there. I wanted to get people help in these areas. Because some people are more sensitive to it than others. And that could be from birth. That could be from how many antibiotics you were given as a kid. It could be from a lot of different numbers. Genetics, there's a number of things. So I think it's good to have the data and just know what your tendencies are. But if you have a major problem with inflammation, I think the biggest thing is like really focusing on an anti-inflammatory diet, really eliminating the processed foods.
So huge.
Processed anything, your body is rejecting it and it will go into inflammation, water retention, an extra layer of fluff, right?
1,000%. That's me to a T. Like,
yeah.
I know that for a fact. And it took me going on this, working with some real doctors. And the first question was, what's your athletic goal? And I was like, fuck, I have no idea, right? Because that matters.
Yeah.
Like, that's important. Like, what do you want to do? Is it like do you want to look like a Greek goddess, or do you want to actually be able to perform at something? Or like, what are we trying to achieve here, right? So I think that's a big part of it. But man, did I notice, so I did Carnivore for 100 days just to get blood work done to see like, well, I wanted to do that diet because it gained so much popularity and people were having so much success with it. And I eat a lot of wild game meat and stuff like that. So I was like, this is like the perfect diet for me. I love steak, right? Like this is, I want to try this. And so I did.
How did you feel on it?
So the first like 10 days, horrible. Because I think my body was detoxing a lot of like stuff. And then, so that was miserable. Like just like cognitively not there, headaches, kind of like some achiness, like just not 100%.
Probably having, total detox.
Yeah. And then
sugar withdrawal also is a huge thing.
Because sugar
it feels like
everything.
The flu. Well, and it's literally as addictive as cocaine. So it's like it's like going into drug
I'd rather have cocaine than
withdrawal.
Sugar. Sorry, am I too much information? No.
Risk reward.
Yeah.
But yeah. So after 10 days, you felt better?
That's crazy, though. It's as addictive as cocaine. Yeah. That's wild.
There's actual studies on that.
Wow. There's more ice in that cup there, too. If you need that. Yeah.
We love just straight gin here, but also some...
Yeah, we got plenty of ice. If you're not checking out the Mountainside Podcast on YouTube, you absolutely should be. If you like the content that we create here and you want to help support the podcast, please take a moment, subscribe to us on YouTube, and hit that notification bell. Yeah, so I did that, and then I was working with some awesome doctors that were like, listen, everybody reacts different. We want you to eat eggs for like 3 days and see, like, after you get past this, like, 40. Oh, I'm sorry. To answer your question, the first 40 days, like, I was like aggro. Like I was taking like steroids or something. Like I was angry.
Yeah.
I literally have never felt the urge more to like hunt. Like I just wanted to kill something. Which I'm never like that. I'm a big softie. I mean, you saw me cry at Metallica the other night. You know what I mean? Like I get emotional when an animal dies. Like I don't like it, you know? Like
do you? I feel like I would too.
Yeah, no, I get a little emotional. I'm a pretty spiritual person, especially when it comes to nature. I think maybe I even like animals more than I like people sometimes.
Same.
So anyways, I was just animal, like, and I don't know if it was a testosterone boost, right? Because I had lower levels of testosterone before. So I had blood work done before, after.
And then your test was higher after carnivore?
Yes.
I love that.
100%.
That is one of the main benefits they kind of they prescribe it for, right?
Yeah.
The test and it helps with kind of like that boost, the fat burning. It helps get all of those functions going.
Well, I was also doing body scans, and the doctors were very upfront with me before I started. They were like, if you're not lifting weights like 8 hours a day, you're going to lose muscle mass. Like you're going to. Your body's going to naturally go to muscle to eat over fat.
Because you don't get that replenishment from the carbs.
Yeah, because it's more nutrients, right? Until your body kind of figures it out. And then once I got balanced, like once I got past that 40-day mark, like mentally I was good. I felt great. I was dropping a ton of weight, like almost, it was like too fast though for me. Like I lost 70 pounds in 100 days.
70 pounds. Good for you.
It was crazy. But a ton of it was muscle too. I was like, God, I look like I'm going to look like
what did your
a cubicle
scan
guy
say about your lean muscle tissue? Was it lower after?
Lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my only gripe about it.
I don't think it's...
Yeah. And it's also just a sustainability factor. For me,
Right.
I'm like, you're going to go to a fucking party that has not the right sources of meat. You're going to live life. You can't always be 100% carnivore. Same thing with low carb. Like you can't, it's so hard to maintain.
I found what works best for me is rooted vegetables. So like anything that grows below the ground, anything that falls from a tree. So I love like berries, and I don't really eat a whole lot of like oranges or anything like that, but like
plant foods.
Yeah.
A good variety of those. And like, guess what? All of that is fiber. The prebiotic fiber.
Yeah.
It's feeding the bacteria in your gut. It's keeping those microbes alive, right? But then you also have to have your protein intake at a certain level, or you are going to lose muscle mass. But I do think when it comes to carnivore, like you need a wider array of micronutrients. You need more fiber.
Yes.
You need more gut replenishing microorganisms. And carnivore just doesn't quite cover those bases, but I know some people get incredible results. I think it's a phase sort of thing where for a phase, you can go into carnivore and you can reach a certain goal or level. But then I also think it's time to reintroduce these other microorganisms into your microbiome. Because you can't, just for being well-nourished and just for nutrition's sake.
I really think I don't attribute too much of it to being carnivore, honestly.
The weight loss?
The weight loss.
Yeah.
I think it's preservatives in food.
Yeah.
Because
it's not
I was
eating the
literally
processed
not
shit.
eating anything processed. And you know how hard it is. I mean, you know probably, but like most people don't know, like
most of their diet is processed.
Well, even if you go to the butcher at the grocery store, at any name brand store, I'm not going to name any, but like any of the name brand stores outside of like Natural Grocers or Whole Foods or something like that, any of the big box stores, they are literally beet washing their steaks. There's dye, there's red 5 in it. Like there's, so like to eat around it. And I was eating no seasonings, no butter.
So you just ate meat with no seasonings on it? How do you eat that?
Clever. Yeah.
Were you like just, because it's also highly expensive because you're literally morning, night.
It wasn't for me because I had freezers full of deer and elk and bison.
So you had like the perfect situation with that, but
the craziest part was
no seasoning?
No seasoning.
Also, like seasoning and herbs and spices are so good for your gut too. That's my other thing, was just like you're kind of starving your gut is my only thing about that. And I think that we just function better with a wide variety. Like they say, the more colors on your plate, the better you're going to feel, the more nutritious that is. Yeah. When you're just eating so one-dimensionally, I just don't see
it. It was the most mentally grueling thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done some pretty wild shit.
Yeah.
But like the mental test of that was the hardest thing I've ever been through. What shocked me is I had a SpectraCell blood work done. I was only going to go 90 days, but I ended up going 100 because to get the SpectraCell or something, it took, I don't know, they had to like ship it into my doctor or whatever. And basically it tests you, it's blood work, and it tests you on vitamin deficiencies across the board, right? Like it's supposed to, I think it does hormone stuff too. Like we did, like basically the fullest blood panel that you could do, including vitamin deficiencies. And so what I got the regiment down to, and your body will tell you, like, this was the craziest part, is I would eat wild game 2 days, and then I would eat beef or something more fatty on a third day. 2 days, a wild game. Because my body would tell me, like, oh, I'm starting to feel like low energy.
Yeah.
I need fat. And I could feel it, like, or I could feel it in my workouts or whatever, right? Like,
yes.
So that was wild, that just the body awareness that I gained during that, right? And I think it's because
you're craving
so many different things. If you're on the go, you're eating so many different things from so many different places from, you know what I mean? Like, but when you really stick to something that's regimented, like to the point I was traveling with like game meat and shit.
How are you eating game meat with no seasoning though? Like I love game meat, but it's got to be prepared the right way. Like I grew up eating game meat.
It was miserable.
That is foul. Like when I how did you do that? Did you have to like
I have really, really clean game. Like
that's good.
A lot of it comes down to, you'll find this if you start bow hunting, I think that there's a big correlation to how your meat tastes and how an animal dies. Really? Yeah.
Like just energetically
well, if you think about it, like if they're shot with a gun and they hear a loud bang, this is just a theory.
The cortisol, everything.
All those adrenals rush into their muscles, right? For that flight type of like, it's just to protect them, right? It's naturally genetically in them. But I also believe it like floods the meat. But then it depends on where you hunt. Like here's a prime example. So where I hunt, I'm really lucky. I have some private land that I can hunt on right here.
That's nice.
Where I can hunt deer. And they eat nothing but acorns and they taste amazing, right? But if you get up into like Wyoming and you shoot a buck that's kind of like outside of the mountains, they eat a lot of sage. So they taste like really like sagey. You can taste it, right? Yeah. But the best example of that is, so the property that I get to hunt on, there's a huge black bear and he's kind of a nuisance. He's like this big dog, but he's scary. You know what I mean? Like he's a fucking wild animal, but he's a trash bear. He eats trash. Like majority
You're
of
like,
it.
I don't want to shoot him. I'm not eating that
everything.
shit.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. But like if you shoot a bear on the western slope that only eats plums or Palisade peaches,
really good meat.
Taste amazing, right? Corn-fed deer from Iowa taste amazing because they're eating nothing but corn. So it's like
nice and fat.
There's a few more things that go into it. But anyways, like elk is pretty constant because they don't, I guess you could eat some like sagey elk, but like Rocky Mountain elk is like some of the best meat that you can get. And it has this incredible flavor. So really clean elk, incredible mule deer that I was eating, and then bison from Eagles Wing Ranch.
Amazing.
And then I was getting beef from Colorado Craft Beef, which is like a local. Yeah. Yeah, they're awesome.
I've worked with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool people. We've had them on the podcast.
They have great beef. I like their beef.
And I think Jocko Willink actually owns part of it or invested in them or something like that. Yeah.
I think they mentioned that.
Yeah, they're cool people.
I love their beef. And their tallow. I like their tallow stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the tallow. The meat sticks are incredible. Those things were a game changer on the go.
Those are nice on the go, especially if you're just like, because I'm all about like, yes, as much as I'm all about gut health and a lot of variety of plant foods and fiber, I am a carnivore at my core. Like from a kid, I was a meat eater. Like that's what I like. And so for me, I'm like, I have red meat multiple times a week, probably 4 or 5 times a week. It's cleaner red meat. I love game. We love fish. You know, we'll eat the chicken and the turkey here and there too. But for me, it's just like you have to have both. Like you have to have protein and lean meats and clean meats, and then a variety of other microorganisms, fiber, colorful foods.
That just
plants.
makes sense, right? I mean, it's like
that's what the earth.
I guess I kind of stick to like a paleo diet now, if anything. Right?
Like for me, like with you if you were my client, right, and you came to me and you said like I'm having all this inflammation, I'm carb sensitive, I can gain weight pretty easily. I would say paleo or Mediterranean approach. It's the least inflammatory in terms of like the food types and the types of carbs and the types of foods. But it's really just like, I always say like steamed is better than raw also for your veggies. But
Really?
steamed, it's easier for your gut to break down. But a big serving of steamed vegetables of one variety or another or multitudes, a nice large
when it
serving
comes to
of protein.
vegetables, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But like, I guess one of the things that kind of trips me out about them, and when I was reading into a lot of it, is I think it's great if it's maybe coming from your garden and like you grew it, but like you go and look at these apples that are polished with like wax and all the shit that they spray on.
I mean,
them to keep
that's the one thing where it's like, okay, try to shop organic when you can because, you know, and there's some debates about that, whether organic is just a bunch of fucking fluff or not. But the less pesticides you can get into your body, the less endotoxins you have, the less endocrine disruptors you're going to have, because all of these toxins, chemicals, fragrances, anything artificial, any processed anything, it's an endocrine disruptor. And what it's doing is it's making sure that your hormones go completely out of balance, and because they don't know what to do with all of these stressors, right? So the less...
They're like, what the fuck are you putting in me? Huh?
What is this? How do I break this down, right? So the less toxic load that you can have when it comes to, and that can include, some people get so crazy into it, like all the granola, you know, the deodorants and the fragrances, and make sure it's all natural, the laundry detergents. You can go really far into it, down to your cleaning products.
I see them selling underwear now that promote like testosterone.
Yeah, I mean, everything we put on us and around us, and everything is influencing us.
No, I think we were meant to be naked and in the middle of the woods, like
naked
hunting
and
things.
afraid.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And look at where we're at now. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. We just live this
we just
total
live this very
comfortable
manufactured life with all of these chemicals and toxins around us. And you know, you can drive yourself crazy with that. I tried to go really, really clean at one point, and then I was like, you know what? This natural deodorant sucks dick. I really need I need the real shit. I'm sorry, but like, this is not it. So you can get really far down that granola path.
Well, I think there's also like lanes in the middle. Like, I've been using this company for a few years, and they're not even a sponsor or anything, but Everyday Man Jack they make awesome stuff.
What is it? It's like
it's
products?
just like they make deodorant, shampoos, body washes, but
just
it smells good.
products.
It works good. I don't know. You could tell me how I smell, but
does your deodorant suck dick?
No.
Some of them do. I'm just saying.
No, some of those natural ones, like
some of them, I'm like, what? This smells worse.
No, it's so crazy. Like, if you think about just like what's in our water, fluoride, and like there's so much to read into
just so much
today.
of a toxic load.
You can almost create more stressors on your body worrying about all the shit than just actually kind of living life and being like.
But that's one of the reasons why
proactive as you can, right?
That's one of the reasons why it does help to have like things that make it easier to make these functions at least detox faster or more efficiently, because we cannot prevent the toxic load from happening. It's just
drink from my straw right now.
Take a sip. You cannot prevent that toxic load from happening, but you can improve the function at which you detoxify all of those things. So you just have to I live by the 80-20 rule. If you can make most of your foundation where you're taking care of these things, and then, you know me, I'll go to a concert and rip beers and like, you know what I mean? Like I like to go and have fun, have a good time. I'll eat like, you know, I'll have a cheeseburger, I'll eat fast food here and there. Like you can have those moments, but if you can make sure that your foundation is where you're nurturing these health markers, then you can do all of that and have fun and have that balance without it derailing the whole process.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that's huge. And I think you got to live life, man. Like you can't. Do. Yeah, you got to live life.
You do.
Yeah.
Because even just like, you also can't be a robot, because if you're just like stressed out all the time, you're constantly worried about being perfect and making sure, it's like, that's also you're dumping all these stress hormones into your body, and you're just completely undoing all of this good work that you're doing. So you have to have both. You have to
I
have
agree.
the joy and the discipline.
Right. You just can't have joy 7 days a week.
Right. Unfortunately.
Well, you still can. Like, that's another thing too that I've kind of adopted in the last couple of years. Like, I went to Metallica completely sober on Friday night.
I was like, just drink.
And had an amazing time.
I was like, you want it.
No, I was at the bar. I was like, oh, yeah.
Take a shot.
It. Well, I thought it was free for a minute. And then it turned out it wasn't free. I was like, oh, shit,
we don't need 6 shots. We're fine.
Yeah. No, what a night, though. That was awesome. And that's, like, kind of that part of living. Like, I'm still having, like, metal withdrawals. And, like, I'm listening to the Metallica playlist, like, in my head right now, like.
Yes.
But yeah, you got to live. Like when your daughter bakes you a birthday cake from scratch,
eat that shit.
Yeah, have a piece, right? Like you don't have to eat the whole fucking cake, but like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can go to the extremes, but it doesn't really. Is it sustainable?
Right.
Like when I was bodybuilding and I was doing everything right and I wasn't drinking and I wasn't having any cheats or whatever for months at a time. We were in these like training camps essentially. You're so stressed out. And like I felt so inflamed. I'm also overtraining a lot of times. Bodybuilding, it was like you were overtraining in terms of the cardio and the metabolic damage, like I mentioned. And then it's like I get out of all of that. I stabilized my hormones once again. I had to optimize because my hormones were damaged. One of the reasons
How long do you think it takes to repair something like that? Like if your body's totally out of whack.
To get back to homeostasis, it can take anywhere from 6 weeks to a year. It depends on how bad the damage is.
Right.
But if you get with the right doctor and have your lab work done and you optimize with maybe if you need hormone replacement therapy or there's lots of natural solutions and supplementation that you can do. One of my supplements is a women's hormone support where you can really rebalance your hormones in a very adaptogenic way where it works with your body instead of taking something synthetic. But it takes time to like recoup. It took me probably 3 months to like get back to normal. But I don't even know where I was going with that thought.
Well, I think it's very similar to what I was doing with the carnivore thing. It was like, okay, I need a hard, like just reset. And I was shocked at how much weight I lost. And not only that, like just physique, waistline, size, clothing, like it was incredible. I don't think I'd do it again though.
Did you gain a bunch of weight once you stopped?
I did once I was trying to fix the shoulder. Like I was good up until last September. And then taking that 3 weeks of being not as active, like my big thing is I'm not a guy to just go out and run and do a shitload of cardio. Like I'll go hike, but
me neither.
But I enjoy like rucking and like that sort of stuff. But like the big stuff is like doing crazy shit, like doing jiu-jitsu or hitting a heavy bag or like I couldn't hit the bag. Yeah, impacts and fun stuff,
Yes.
I like to destroy stuff.
So you couldn't do any of that, and your wings were clipped, and then you gained some weight back.
I gained some weight back, and I probably didn't stick to. Oh, I know for a fact I didn't stick to like occasionally having that slice of birthday cake or having that whatever after that 100 days. Like I gained some of it back, like a lot of it back, probably like 30 pounds back. So it's like now I almost want to get to the point where I just take it serious enough. And I'm kind of curious with you and like how regimented you are and how good of shape you're in. And like Chris is like really getting down to tracking the macros and actually like weighing your protein and actually know exactly what's going in your body.
I always tell
think
people,
that's a...
Well, some people get really turned off by tracking your macros. And my plans are built to...
I need another drink.
Have one. Do you need the ice?
I got some here. Do you need more?
You
got plenty of it out there. We'll take a refill too back on the ice, please.
Processing and breaking it down. Whereas this is why I tell my clients, cheat meal versus a cheat weekend.
Right.
If you're doing a cheat weekend,
start going down that rabbit hole, right?
you are literally all of a sudden if it's meals in a row, now your body's
Thank you.
hooked on these saturated fats. They're hooked on that glucose. They're hooked on those little spikes. And now they that's all they're craving. So to get back after a weekend bender is a lot harder than, okay, I'm going to like blow it out the box on a Saturday night and we're going to eat like fat bitches, right? So that you can bounce back from. Actually, your body will end up craving the healthy stuff actually after that. But if it's like you're going meals and meals and meals on a row for 4 days in a row,
So like
3
it's
days in
kind
a
of
row.
okay to have a cheat meal every once in a while,
Absolutely.
you think, for your metabolism and stuff?
I am a huge believer in cheat meals.
Okay.
I am a big believer in, as long as you can make it a cheat meal and not just be on a bender. Because it's actually a nice refeed. Like your metabolism, especially if you've been in a calorie deficit for so long, your metabolism needs that like replenishment of carbs, proteins, fats, that just extra overload. And then it kind of it's like a weird way of resetting itself. You get that reward, you get the endorphins from it. It's like this little reward. And then all of a sudden it's like you're motivated to go back. This is one reason why we need a rest day. Or like if you are burnt out from work and you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going for months on end or weeks on end, all of a sudden you hit a limit. If you just take 1 day a week where you're just like, I'm turning my brain off, turning my phone off, I'm not thinking about it, how more excited are you to get back to work the next day and actually motivated to like get shit done because you took that reset? Like I think we all need a reset and your metabolism does too. So a cheat meal is that little reset moment for you, even if it's once a week.
I think that's living, right? Like you have to be able to live and you have to be able to, I think one thing is that I found is I do it as like a celebratory thing. Like I wouldn't be sitting here drinking tequila well, that's a lie, maybe. I had a really bad day. But I'm having a drink with Whitney right now. You know what I mean? Like that's it's kind of like a celebratory thing or approach, right?
But if you're drinking all day, you're like,
that's so much fun though, too,
it's
isn't it?
Great times.
Till the next day, yeah.
Until you have that 38-year-old hangover that I'm discovering.
How about 45? Try that one on.
I'm like, when the fuck did I get so hungover after 5 drinks?
Yeah.
I used to be able to just drink and not have a headache.
I tell you what, though, like, I have a regiment for that, too. Okay, I'm having a couple drinks for sure tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to pound an element salt. Like
hydrate with the electrolytes.
Yep, magnesium. So huge.
So big.
So to take it back to tracking your macros, I mean.
So I have my clients track their macros when they're first starting. I did for a number of years. I got to a point where, this is what I tell new clients. I'm like, you don't have to do it every day, all day, and be OCD about it. But even if you do it once a week, and you just kind of, because servings are very deceiving. Once you start tracking, you're like, holy shit, I am way over on my carbs. I am way under on my protein. Most people are very under on their protein. And I always tell people, if you track one thing, let it be your protein intake. Because carbs and fats can be fungible to a certain point where they're going to kind of even out, they're going to balance out. But if you can make sure that one staple is there, your protein, that's going to make sure that you can maintain the muscle mass, you can have the building blocks for
pretty much
muscle
a gram
density,
per body
essentially,
weight, right? Yeah.
Yes,
pound per body weight
for like maintenance. So it's
for maintenance. So like for growth, you would spike that up and go
1.6.
Okay.
1.5, 1.6, depending on what your goals are. If you're doing a bodybuilding show or you're just trying to gain mass, it can depend. But I think, about aim for 1 per pound, right? And that can be hard to do. So like I always tell people, a hefty serving of protein at each meal. This is one of the reasons why I have an issue with fasting. The only reason... Well, one of the...
Well, that's what I wonder. Like, I love what it does for me cognitively, and that's why I'm doing it, but maybe it's not the best
if you were
for
to
me
track,
physique-wise
if you were
and
to track
fitness-wise.
I would be curious to see on a fasting day what your actual macros look like. at the end of the day, what your actual intake is, how much protein are you really taking in? Is it anywhere near it needs to be? Because probably not. But it depends on, I don't know how you eat. So a lot of people don't get there because it's a shorter window, and the volume of food that it takes to get to, 240 grams of protein.
So much protein.
It's a lot of fucking protein, right?
I basically need to eat 260 grams of protein. That's so much.
So you're going to need to be pounding
shakes,
and you're going to need to be like, your protein servings are going to be massive. So it's like, can you get that done in a 6-hour window? Or I don't know what your fasting window is.
So it's typically I eat around like 3 or 4 o'clock, and then I might eat again around like 7 or 8, just with schedule by the time I'm like picking up kids, which is really
and then
bad.
You're done.
And then I'm going to bed at like 9 o'clock. So like I should really probably be eating.
So you're getting like two meals.
Yeah.
And then what would be your guess is like how much protein is that meal containing?
I would say typically lately it's been maybe like maybe 20 ounces of like steak.
20?
Yeah.
Which is probably...
Whether it's game or bison or something. So I have those little...
So you have a hefty portion, which is good.
A decent portion. And then typically I'm mixing in like some sweet potatoes that are chopped and then baked, or I don't really air fry, but they're kind of like air fry them in the oven, I guess, or whatever. Put them on parchment paper and bake them. And then typically I'm cooking in some like ghee butter.
That's good.
Some beef tallow, so getting a little extra there. The bulletproof in the morning, so
fats are good. Your fats are good. What about do you have vegetables at all?
Not very often. Like I don't eat like leafy green.
Try the straws will at least help with the fiber. You'll probably notice it just gets things moving, and that's good. If you can add a little bit of like a steamed veggie side on your 2 meals, you're going to be in better shape in terms of even just for like satiety, just being like feeling full, feeling satisfied. That fiber helps fill you up. And I think like, I would say track what that would look like on your actual protein intake. You probably need a shake. I would say even a collagen protein shake or a bone broth drink before you go to bed. Heat some bone broth. That's going to give you like 20 grams right there. And it's good for your gut. Or do add... So my favorite breakfast is the Brain Activate with the coffee and then collagen protein.
Really? You mix it right in your coffee?
Yeah. It's amazing as like a creamer. It's like a yummy vanilla powder that's creamy. And
that's what I love. Like I'm addicted to the Bulletproof.
The Bulletproof is great. I was a huge fan of the Bulletproof. One of the things that helped me get out of my whole chronic pain, just merry-go-round that I was in, was like the Bulletproof podcast content helped me a lot.
Really?
Yes. And I loved that, the coffee in the morning with the fats. This is literally that. It's just another
What's your
version
take on,
of it.
because like I've heard some stuff lately, and I actually heard it from Corey Sandhagen. Shout out. And he was on Rogan, and he was talking about iron. He has an iron deficiency or something, and caffeine is supposed to like really suppress iron consumption. When you consume iron, if you consume coffee in the same day, you're not absorbing the actual iron that you need or something. It's crazy. I don't know.
So he has an iron deficiency. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to listen to his.
Well, coffee is very acidic, and for certain people, it's not good.
I fucking love coffee.
I love coffee.
That's the one thing I didn't have to give up on.
I don't love a black coffee because
I don't either.
It doesn't feel good.
I do like it, but I prefer it with some
I don't feel as
Bulletproof in
great
it.
without some fats in there or protein or something paired with it, right? So it depends on what, again, he has a specific health condition, but I think, coffee is also highly acidic. So for certain people, it's not great. I also put this in a matcha. You ever tasted matcha powder by itself? It tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
So you put that in there. It's delicious.
Okay. Not too bad then.
Yeah. But I think if you're pairing fats, but I would say track your protein. Let me know where it's at.
Okay.
And then I can tell you what to add to your diet, because you're going to want to have one thing that I like about the macros approach is it gives you the flexibility of, okay, well, I know that my so say you get a diet plan from me. I'm going to give you a menu of options.
I'm going to call you tomorrow because this is something that I need to dial in, because honestly, my goal is right now, I'll just tell everybody, right now I'm rolling right around like 270 and I feel like 255 is a good like operating weight for me for what I want to do. Maybe even consider go down to 225 at some point. But I think like 255 is when I like feel like really good and like I'm just there. So I wanted to get to that and then maintain that. Yeah. Through watching macros and eat like kind of a normal diet.
I would say paleo diet. I would put you on a paleo probably, because it's going to be less inflammatory for you. I know you're carb sensitive, so all the carbs on that diet are root vegetables.
Yes.
Or
that's pretty much what I'm doing now.
More easily digestible. You know, you're not doing a ton of like grains, which can increase your inflammatory markers.
I gain weight like crazy when I start eating rice, quinoa. Even
white rice does that for you?
Yeah, I think.
White rice?
Yeah.
So it depends
Maybe I'm
on the
eating
person.
too much of it, and then I'm never eating it plain, right? It's always got butter or fucking
and
something.
Sauce.
Yeah.
Root
ton
vegetables,
of soy sauce.
Potatoes, squash,
Sushi,
root vegetables, carrots, like starchier vegetables. It's a bummer you can't have rice. The white rice does help me.
Welcome
but like,
to the
I'm
nutrition podcast. We're an hour and 20 minutes into this. No, it's awesome. This is great. I really don't
start
care.
Asking me questions about this stuff unless you want me to go off.
No, you're such an expert in it. I'm honored to have you on and talk about that, honestly. And today there was no agenda.
Just give me a call, and then I will put a plan in motion.
Okay.
But there's ways to hit all these.
Yeah.
We'll
do it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to get back to that, because I think the problem was I was feeling a little too good, and I went back to like my younger self, and I'm not my younger self. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go fucking really hard and heavy at jiu-jitsu. And next thing you know,
you're like my joints.
Torn. Yeah.
Ow. I need peptides.
It's so much harder when you're 45 too. Like, it's like, God, dude, I'm going to be 50 in 5 years.
That's wild to me.
It's crazy.
That's wild to me, because you don't seem like you seem very young. You seem very young at heart.
Yeah.
And youthful.
I'm still in pretty good shape.
I still feel like that too.
Like I can...
Chris and I are both pushing 40, and we're both like, wait a second.
You guys are rock stars.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Why does 40 felt so old when we were kids, and then you were like, fuck, we're here, right?
Yeah.
When did that happen? And like, maybe I should have my shit together by now.
I think you guys do. I mean,
sometimes we have our days.
I mean, look at what you're doing business-wise. Look at what you've achieved already in the fitness world. And
well, thanks.
I mean, look at Chris right now.
I mean
he's literally a world champion.
I'm just so happy bare knuckle boxing. That
that's fucking.
This last year has transpired with his career, because I feel like he was like, I met Chris way after his UFC career, right? But he was kind of one of those guys where it's like, if you know, like he has this record where it's cool. Like but he didn't get all this glory. He didn't get all the, he never quite hit that point that he was super proud of. And I hated that he felt that way, even though his resume is so impressive and he has such a cool career under his belt. But it was like, I felt for him, because it was like, he didn't quite feel as accomplished as he wanted to be. And then this past year, he was able to make world champion. He's defended it twice. It's just like, fuck yeah.
So rad.
It's so cool to see. And I'm like, I couldn't be happier. There's nobody that deserves success more than Chris. Like he's such a genuine, amazing human.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
He's done so much for me. And you can attest to this with how he treats you. And just like, you guys are like the fucking power couple, man. Like, I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I love to see both of you thriving, and especially I mean, Chris, this last year has really thrived, and it's
Really
fucking
has.
cool. It's so
It's
rad
been cool
to see.
to witness that because it was like,
He's very deserving of it.
Yes.
And that's why I'm stoked.
yeah, he really
Super
is.
rad.
Yeah.
So tell me about Italy and that whole,
That was crazy.
like, that was wild. Like, he touched on it a little bit when he was in, was it last month or something like that? Mm-hmm. But we didn't really do a deep dive. I mean, that was
The
a hell
Italy
of a trip for you guys, right?
Oh, it was such a cool trip, and it was the Italy promotion of BKFC is amazing. Like those promoters and the people that run that show are incredible. They treated us like royalty. They treated Chris like royalty. He has the Italian, heritage, and so they were really kind of playing up on that, which was cool to see.
Yeah.
And then of course his opponent got switched at the last moment to a local Italian guy. So it was like, oh shit, we don't have the home team advantage anymore.
So much for the thug that he was supposed to fight, right? Yeah.
But the Italian people are so classy, and they were so warm still. And he had already made a lot of fans at that point. We had already gone out for the press conference, and they made such a big buzz about it. So I really liked the way that they did it. I think he has one more coming up in Italy, which is great, and I'm happy about. He's definitely getting to the point where he'll probably retire soon. He's looking at that at some point when it makes sense. I love that he's had the longevity that he has. My mom, every time she sees him, she's like, so when are you retiring? We don't want you to get hurt. It's like as the friends and family, you're like, we just don't want you to get hurt. Every single time he fights, it takes years off my life.
Yeah. No, it's
stressful.
I could see that.
It's hard to watch. The bare knuckle shit is no joke.
It really isn't.
It's really no joke.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible how unscathed he comes out of most of it. Like, you look at some of these guys and they've gone through some
bashed.
shit.
Like,
he's a tough motherfucker is what I'm getting at.
He really is. I mean, even that last fight was a lot harder than he really anticipated. Like,
sure.
And it was like, oh shit, okay, this is gonna be a 5-rounder. Fuck. Like,
right.
Okay. There was a lot more cuts and a lot more stitches. But he's like Wolverine. I'm like, do peptides do you have like an IV drip of peptides? Right. He heals like so fast. But the stitches in his ear was pretty bad. That was a pretty gross one. I had to mess with those stitches. That wasn't fun. Yeah. Not my favorite part of being a...
Yeah, you guys were supposed to be like on vacation, right?
Yes.
Playing doctor. Probably.
We went from his fight camp to we were hosting a retreat in Greece the week after his fight.
So rad.
And which was great. But it happened like right at the same time. The fight got booked right at the same. So I was like, okay, well, we'll kill a week in Italy. Mm-hmm. In between, we went down to the Amalfi Coast, and that was gorgeous. And it was nice for him to have a moment to just recover and pull his stitches out. I was like, I don't know if I can get those, babe. Right. You might have to get those. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful way to celebrate. And it does make it so special to like have that cherry on the cake of like, okay, you could be retiring at any point. That second
belt is nice. Yeah.
And you're world champion, and like, what better way to kind of, end your career as a fighter? And who knows? He could have a few more left. We don't know that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Well, I hope he does, because I love seeing him in there, but I hate it just as much as you do too.
Do you get nervous when you watch him? You have a lot of fighter friends.
Yeah. I mean, I get definitely more emotional. Like, I feel like I have so many more emotions tied to a fight when you know somebody.
Totally.
Like watching Brandon Royval go what he went through last weekend was like
champion.
Motherfucker, man. Like, poor dude, like that was the most incredible fight. And to come out on the losing side of that, like to go for 5 rounds and like in the last, really lost it in the last like maybe 10 to 12 seconds of the fight. Mm-hmm. So like that makes sort of shit is heartbreaking to me to watch Chris against that first fight against Lorenzo and like the way that went down and not going to the 6th round and like all the different rules and all that sort of stuff. That shit, I get more pissed off than anything. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, why are you doing this? This shit's rigged. Like,
You get invested.
That kind of sort of thing. But yeah, no, I hate seeing people get hurt. Even if it's like, you know, the old skate videos we were just talking about on the last podcast, like the slam session. Like I was the guy that never really wanted to watch like people
get injured.
Get super injured. Yeah.
Like, why do I want to watch that?
Oh my God. And I saw it so much in motocross because I was in that industry for a while. With like dirt bikes are just meant to destroy humans. Really. Like, and if you've been around any of those old motocross guys, they're just
falling apart.
Like a lamp or like, yeah, they are beat the fuck up. I mean,
man.
I watched, it was actually in Aspen. I watched Brian Deegan do this jump and he broke his femur and like his ribs and his back.
Dude.
I think his shoulder.
That's terrible.
I mean, he flew off of his bike at like probably, he was trying to do, it was freestyle motocross, but they were doing it in the snow. But you can't get traction in the snow. So it was literally a solid ice jump,
like a
right?
suicide mission.
Yeah, and they put like screws in their tires for traction.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think it was so dangerous after that they just totally nixed it from the Winter X Games. Mm-hmm. But he was going to do this crazy trick. I think it was called a McTwist. Pretty sure it was a McTwist or something. So it's like a backflip 360 on a 250-pound motorcycle.
How do you not get hurt doing that?
And he just totally, I mean, with traction, you're doing it, you're riding off of ice. Mm-hmm. So like his traction wasn't there. And I think he had just done it and pulled it off and was like the first guy to pull it off at Summer X Games. So there was a lot of like pressure of like, you're the champ, right? You're the gold medalist. Like you got to back it up. So I think there was some of that factor, but like, you should actually look this up, Becca. It is fucking gnarly. Look up Brian Deegan.
Do I want to watch this?
Femur.
Breaking a femur? That sounds horrible.
Well, I was standing at the base of the jump and I heard his leg pop like, I mean, it was crazy. It sounded like somebody breaking a branch in half. Brian Deegan.
Oh, God.
Winter X Games.
Put it on mute.
Wreck. You're actually going to have to leave it on mute because we'll get copyright struck, I think, probably. Yeah. Crash. There you go.
There's
this is like
Googled
world famous. So gnarly. And Brian's the fucking man, too. Like, he's...
Well, and then it's like, how long does that put him out?
Oh, he had to stay in Aspen for, like... I mean, yeah, he came back, but... I mean, that it looks like snow, but that is literally like solid ice. Yeah, he destroyed. I mean, we don't have to watch any more of it, but seeing my friends get hurt like that, like he was a friend. We lost a friend that same year to a freestyle motocross accident.
Wow.
Like people died doing this shit. You know what I mean?
The
like
motocross thing. It's a whole different
So I guess
ballgame.
I'm kind of like, when it comes to like the fighter game now and like watching fighters, I don't feel like the danger factor. I mean, I'm just dull to it, right?
Yeah.
And like a lot of my former friends are military guys and stuff like that too that performed at a high level. So like hearing some of their stuff and like some of the stuff that I've experienced firsthand.
You're like, grow up.
I just feel like the fighting thing is like the closest thing that you can get to like a war scenario, but it's almost with like guardrails, right? Like there should be a ref to jump in and like save you. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have stuff long term. Doesn't mean you're not going to walk away with. But I don't think there's ever been, I mean, I don't want to be the guy, but like, I don't think there's ever been a UFC fighter that's died. I know there's a ton of boxers that have died.
Ton of boxers.
Ton.
Yeah.
It's because it's a crazy sport. You can literally get knocked out and then get picked.
Just the one
10
wrong
seconds.
split second happens. Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like, I think people think that UFC is so much
more dangerous because there's elbows
but like,
and
I think bare knuckle might be the most dangerous.
Has there been a bare knuckle fighter that's like died at this point?
Know.
I don't know either because I don't know.
Well, boxing's so crazy because like some of them go like 15 rounds. Mm-hmm. And I'd be curious to see like how many of those boxers died in like later rounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, and just later, just premature death in general from it. But like when first Chris was offered the BKFC deal, and he was doing MMA when we met, and I had been with him for a few fights on MMA. And then it was like, you're going to go to fucking bare knuckle? What do you mean? Like, this is like savagery and so
Is it in somebody's garage?
dangerous.
You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like.
And just so much blood and very easy to get cut. And these guys come out looking bashed up, some of these guys, right? So for me, I had a lot of hesitations. And he's like, well, actually, the amount of head trauma that happens in a bare knuckle fight versus an MMA fight where there's elbows, there's knees, that type of striking is actually really damaging and actually
brutal.
worse for
like a head kick
for CTE.
Come on.
Yeah. So bare knuckle, you might get cut up a little bit more, and it does look a little gorier. It's harder to watch, but I think that the damage ultimately, like in terms of that amount of like shock that you take, the amount of trauma that you take to the brain actually is a little bit less.
I think another factor to that too is when you start looking at round times, it's like literally half the
shorter
round
rounds.
times. Yeah.
It's less impact, and half the fight. It's really short fights because usually somebody gets knocked out in the first.
It's so exciting to watch.
It's so exciting. No, the thing about UFC is lately, it's fucking boring, bro. I don't want to watch people wrestle around for 5 minutes. So this is one of the reasons why it's not that it's boring. There are amazing fighters for UFC still. But I do think that bare knuckle fights are really exciting to watch because so fast paced, they're quick fights. Somebody's either getting knocked out or it's entertaining. Okay?
They have built it for the spectator, not for the
spectator.
Fighter. I mean, it's a round ring.
Yes.
Nobody's getting trapped in a
escaping.
corner. You start, what is it, like 3 feet apart or something crazy like that? Like
I don't even know, actually.
Yeah, I think they start them 3 feet apart. So you're not starting from your corner.
Yeah.
Like you're starting within striking
distance. You are
distance,
literally
basically.
within striking distance.
Or one step in,
yes.
and then it's striking distance. And that's why, like, shout out to Yuli holds the record for the world's fastest knockout.
Fastest knockout.
Right? Because you're starting so close together.
Yes.
And then the rounds are 2 minutes, so you really don't even have time to, like, game plan or feel anybody out. Like, you're just...
It's insane.
Yeah.
It is insane. But he did kind of calm my mind of, like, actually it's less CTE damage if you do it right.
Right.
And he's been on this, for the most part, other than 2 fights, he's been on a first round knockout streak.
I know. I love that.
Which is nice. I'm like, okay, just keep going there.
Keep doing that.
Don't worry. You don't have stitches. You're not cut up, and there's no trauma to the brain. But, it's a crazy sport. But,
So speaking of boxing, are you still dibble-dabbling in that world? Because I know for a while there, like, you had some pretty big fights.
There were some big fights. They were fun, really big exhibition fights, not on a pro level.
So rad.
But it was really such a cool experience. But no, I got a call like a month or two ago about a fight, but they wanted me to go down 125. And I fight it at 145. And I'm very lean. I don't have 20 pounds to lose unless I'm going into metabolic damage. So I have a hard time accepting that. And I am kind of getting to the age where I'm like, half these bitches are fucking 20 years old, dude.
Right.
Am I really trying to go do that again? I don't know. It's a lot. Like the fight camp is a lot. It takes a toll. I have a huge respect for fighters, but I'm just training right now. I'm just training and enjoying that, but not
so
putting
do you
pressure
still
on
train
myself.
boxing?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't spar. I'm not sparring right now because sparring is a lot.
Well, especially
you take
the
a lot
gyms
of
that you're in.
damage. Yeah, these fucking bitches don't take it easy on me. You guys know who you are.
Are you like sparring against Rose and like some of these girls that are like pro fighters?
Pro fighters. Okay, that's the only people that I had. Okay, and these girls are.
You need to find a gym, like a cardio kickboxing gym or something, go beat some old bitches up.
It was good, like, to have the experience, because that is how you get better. But, like, I took damage. I was getting bloodied up.
Yeah.
You're getting fat lips. You're getting nosebleeds. You're getting black eyes on the fucking regular. People would look at Chris and I in the elevator like, we would both come all marked up from sparring, and I'm like, they thought we had a domestic violence problem.
That's hilarious.
So I'm like, especially with what I do, it's hard for me to have like
show up to
bruises and welts on my face
yeah.
and like go do a photo shoot or a video shoot and talk to people.
Right.
It's a little disruptive to like everything else I have going on. And it's very time consuming. I mean, to be in fight camp, you're training like 3-4 hours a day. You
have to be making real money because you're losing money.
You're I mean, and I made great money in those fights. They were good opportunities. But it would have to take a lot of. It would need to be the right opportunity for me to do that again. Yeah.
No, but it's fun to train that way. Like, I guess that's what I was getting at. Like, that's how I like to train, do cardio, that sort of thing. It's just like, I'm also looking for mileage these days, and I've finally realized like it's probably not going to give me the most mileage is going into sparring and going into live rolls and stuff like that. It's like,
I know, it's hard.
Because
you do jiu-jitsu, right? So
yeah,
it's not as, I don't know as much about jiu-jitsu, but I feel
like, I mean, you can go in and fucking pussyfoot it and just drill and then be like, when it comes to like the live roll, be like, see you later, guys. But honestly, that's what I'm there for, is to get my ass kicked or try to kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's the funnest part, is like the live stuff. Like drilling is
choking each other out.
Yeah. Like testing yourself a little bit, right? But I just choose to test myself in different ways now. So like now it's in the backcountry, and it's like bow hunting is the ultimate test to me. Like way harder than going to jiu-jitsu class, I think. Yeah.
Just it takes a lot of athleticism to just get up and down those.
It's not even really the athleticism. It's the mental clarity, the self-testing of just like.
Well, you're also suffering out there. You're like suffering.
You're freezing.
Or you're
hot as hell.
Or you have to literally sit in silence. It's literally like you're because I grew up hunting here and there. I'm not like a big huntress, okay?
Yeah.
But I'll dabble in it. I would like to go along for the ride. I like a hike with scenery.
Right.
Maybe some blood. But like half the time, it's like misery. Chris will tell me about some of these hunts, and I'm like, you're signing up for torture. You're waking up at 3 a.m. It's fucking 20 degrees outside. You're going to go and sit in a blind and do what? Or you're hauling a 400-pound animal back down. I'm like, you are signing up for torture, which I also admire. And I think that that's really good for humans to just sign up for hard things, challenge yourself. But it's also, you have to really love what you're doing, because like, to me, I'm like, I'll sleep until 9. Thank you. I'm not waking up at 3.
I love the test, because it takes you back to like, and maybe this is like totally testosterone filled and like being a man, right? It's like the true test of like, if I had to survive, could I actually do it, right? So like taking that kind of mindset.
Testing yourself.
Can I actually go and kill an animal? I don't think people realize how hard it is. And then once you actually do achieve that, like the adrenaline dump that you have is like no other, because you've been suffering so bad and you've actually achieved your goal, right?
Yes.
And then it sinks in. Then your body goes through this like, holy shit, I'm tired, and now I have to cut this whole animal up and get it out of here
and gut it
before
I don't even know how you
the
do
meat
that.
spoils, right?
It's crazy.
So it's like, it's the ultimate.
I definitely admire it.
Test.
Like I grew up, my dad was a hunter. I grew up in Idaho. We did some redneck shit, right?
Right. I mean, there's people that just go out and like hunt out of their trucks, and I'm totally fine with that too. But like what I'm doing is different. Like
that is a different level.
It requires cardio. It requires strength. It requires resilience. It requires being truly connected to nature. I think that's the biggest thing that I get out of it. Like me and Beto were talking about it.
Shout out, Beto.
Shout out. Love that dude. When he was in on the podcast, and it's just like, the first like 3 days, and I've talked about this with multiple people, including my buddy Ryan. He's like, I bet you very few people, Ryan McGuire, I bet you very few people have spent 48 hours alone in nature with no
just
sort
quiet.
of like,
just
like you don't have to be out hiking.
Your thoughts, nature, and
He's
this
like,
animal that you're going to kill.
I bet you can't count the people on your hand that have done that. I think bow hunters experience that if they're solo, especially if you're going backcountry, because it takes you like it takes me like 3 days to really get like acclimated. And then you almost kind of get tuned into nature to where you're starting to notice like the little things, like just, and really appreciate them.
It's definitely a lost art. I remember, because I moved from LA, I lived there for like 8 years. And I remember, because I grew up in Idaho, I grew up in that whole environment. My dad was a bow hunter, and we grew up with game meat in our freezer and salmon from Alaska and all this stuff. And then, I went out into the world. I did my own thing. And like this world is like, especially LA, very like the masculine nature that would go out and do a hunt like that. It just doesn't exist out there anymore. Not out there. And I remember
that masculine nature is playing the Viper Room
it
on
was
Friday
literally,
night or something.
I'm like, it was hard for me because at my core, that's how I grew up. I grew up like an Idaho girl, right? But then I'm out in the world and it's like, this just doesn't really exist anymore. Like not for, then I came back, I met Chris, thank God. Like he was really felt so much more like at my roots. But that was so hard to find. And I remember having so many moments.
Were you on a beach or?
I was for some of it, I was in Santa Monica, West Hollywood. I was mostly Hollywood. Like I was in the mix of that stuff.
That's a totally different world.
Because
I was in Hermosa Beach for 20 years.
Hermosa's great.
But where I found it was the ocean.
Yes.
Like I would go stand up paddle and like go out early in the morning and go see sea lions.
And there's a lot of nature out there too.
There's so
which
much.
Is great.
Yeah.
But it was like, I remember feeling
different.
like, because I grew up with my dad as a man, you kill your meat and you have the capability to do that. And that's a really lost art now. I feel like it's so valuable now because it's such a rare thing this day and age. And
there's so many people that are starving for that. I think there's been a resurgence in it a little bit. Which
for
is
sure
really
in
cool.
recent years, very recent.
Yeah.
I honestly think after COVID, people realized you need to figure out how to fucking survive and take care of yourself.
I think they had a moment to kind of figure a lot of shit out. I mean, I kind of did with the podcast. Like the podcast probably wouldn't be where it was at if it wasn't for COVID. Like
Really?
I had the studio built right before COVID hit. Like it was crazy. Like the timing of it couldn't have been any better. Like for me. But the Mountainside was going to be a totally different podcast. It was going to be very like kind of square, like talking to government officials, and I'm so glad I didn't go down that road because I'm not smart enough to do that and to keep my emotions in check. And there's some great podcasts out there that are doing it now, like this podcast Through the Gates with Dan Gates, and it's all on like wildlife policy and all kinds of different stuff. But I was going to do more like talk to game and fish, talk to law enforcement,
more of like an
talk
outdoors
to search and rescue. Yeah. It's kind of why it was the Mountainside, but then it just adopted into like, well, COVID hit. So like my first 5 episodes, they were like, we have mandates. We can't literally be in public. We can't be on public media things unless it's a Zoom call. I was like, well, I'm trying to do it all in person. So then it turned into me having like some survival guys in for the first like couple.
They're like, I'll survive.
Yeah. And then I went down the road. I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to kind of do what Rogan does and just have whoever I want in whenever.
I love it.
Yeah. It's been the
and
best
it's
thing
cool
ever.
because I was going to ask you how it got so fighter centric. You just have a lot of friends
just my
in that
friend
world.
Set, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've
trained.
trained. So you've been in the gyms, like,
so I kind of felt
in the
comfortable.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that there's like a mix, because it also like they're interconnected.
I love people and I love hearing people's perspective, whether it's yours on fitness or a quadriplegic that's trying not to live a life in a wheelchair, or like there's so many people that are savages in so many different ways. And that's what really intrigues me, I think, more than anything is like people's passions, what drives them, and anybody can learn something from that. And I think that's why the audience has accepted it so much, but really it's my own greed.
You're like, I
the
just
first
wanted to
hour and a half of
actually
this
have
podcast, it's like, I just want to hang out with Whitney. No, it wasn't like that greed, because I am going to get a consultation from you for sure. And we'll get more into the weeds, and I'll be very direct. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve. But I love like learning people's perspectives.
Well, there's something to learn
like,
from
my perspective
everyone.
has been changed so many times here. Like, Beto's changed mine. Like, that's one thing I love about fighters. I think it's become very fighter eccentric, to answer your question, and special operations, because those guys are truly genuine people. Like, they don't have anything to prove.
And they've also been through some wild life experiences that like are applicable in so many facets, because you can take so much from that extreme version but break it down into something that works for life. You know, like that's where the growth happens, is in like stepping out of the comfort zone. Well, the people that have done it the most, they're going to be able to shed a lot of light on just personal growth in the everyday person.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the little things too. Like, I remember vividly with Beto, we were having a conversation at Half Face Blades in his old shop. And what did I say? It was like a cliche thing to say, like filler conversation during the podcast. And I can't remember. I love that the fact that those guys will check you, like, and let you know how they really feel. So with Beto, for example, I said, I think I said, do you ever feel like something kind of happens for a reason? Or maybe I said that in conversation. I'd have to go back and listen to it. But anyways, I said,
he's like,
everything.
No, that's what pussies say.
Everything, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I was like, everything happens for a reason. And he goes, no, it doesn't. He's like, I've seen really good people have shitty stuff happen to them. Like, so I don't believe in that. And I'm like, so he changed my perspective on that. And karma is like, you know what? You're fucking right. And I've never really thought about it that way. I've seen people that have lived like the saint's life and have totally been shit on.
They've had a horrible karmic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
we
what I
could
mean?
get in a whole conversation about karma of like, because, you know, when it comes, it is crazy. It is wild, because it's like, how do bad things happen to good people?
Right.
But it's also like, I think that we have soul contracts. And I think, but it could also just be how we all cope with the fucking misery that happens on Earth sometimes, and the unfair shit.
It's human to have horrible shit happen.
It just will happen, and it's totally undeserved, and the injustice. You want to believe that karma is going to someday serve and redeem a little bit, but that doesn't always happen. Or
it's definitely
happens
not something to put faith in, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I gave this homeless guy $5, I'm going to be rewarded. And I think that I think it comes down to, I'm sorry, I didn't finish that, and that sounded really bad. I think it comes down to being a good human and giving something without expecting anything in return. Like, to take it back to, was it Sunday night? It's crazy. We were at Metallica on Sunday night.
Yes.
To take it back to Sunday night, like, I gave that little girl everything that was left in my pocket, not money or anything, but just like stuff from the band. Just as like a sign of respect, like, hey, I appreciate what you're going through. And I gave her like a little fist pump, and I just said, all I said to her was just like, keep fighting, keep doing what you're doing. I love your art or whatever. And I didn't expect anything in return. And she gave me that button in return as like a sign of respect.
Cute.
Same with those police officers. Like, I didn't expect anything in return. I was just like, genuinely like,
they immediately
you guys deserve this. Like, all these other assholes here that are like,
and they
whatever.
didn't get, yeah. So,
no,
I do. And that, well,
it's a sign of respect.
Well, going back to karma versus, I think it's just positive energy and frequency and vibration. I think it comes down to that, but also fucked up things can happen when you're also just out of nowhere. It can just happen for no reason.
Yes.
There's been plenty of instances in my life, and then there's been plenty of instances in my life where I've been going down that path unrealizing that I was attracting all this negative shit to me. So I think there's both. But I think ultimately it's like things are going to happen in life. It's how we react to them. And it's also, you know, I do think that when you are operating in a place of good intention, good vibration, good frequency, I do believe more of that good comes to you.
Well, I think it attracts other good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I think
But it doesn't protect you against the fucking traumas of the world.
No.
You could literally get hit by a car and die today.
Yeah. Shit could happen.
So shit happens. Yeah. But, and so to Beto's point, no, it doesn't. It doesn't always happen for a reason. I think he's also seen some really fucked up shit that not all of us have seen to the level
of... Yeah, but
of...
he's also like one of the most generous giving people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And probably
you know what I mean?
Part of it is because of how much he's seen and been through.
Right.
So, you know, it all comes full circle in its own way.
Yeah. No, we are so lucky with our friend set, and when I say friend set, like everybody that I've had on the podcast is almost like kind of connected some way. Mm-hmm. Well, they're connected through the podcast, number one. So it's kind of like a community, right? Like I feel like if you ever wanted to get in touch with a certain guest that I've had on, like you guys will almost have like a common bond because you've spent time with me, right? It's like kind of that friends thing. But then not only that, like I was telling Becca about it when I walked in. Because this is actually Becca, shout out. First time
Becca.
On the mountainside, yeah. First time helping out, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
I love this. This is everything I'm interested in.
Nice.
I love it.
Well, I love having you here, so thank you for being here.
Yes.
But Becca was kind of asking, some questions, and I had kind of had to think about it for a minute. She's like, well, how do you know all these people? And it was like, I've really built a community here because like, I knew of Chris, just because he was a UFC fighter and I've been a fan of it for so long. But we had some mutual friends, but then I had Eric Tilley on the podcast. Shout out
Eric.
He was like, you should have Chris Camozzi on. That led to me having Chris on. Then Chris, being as generous as he is, he's like, you should have Scott Parker, but that's also why I've had you on, and Grant Neal and Brandon Gertz. And it's like, it just starts to branch out, right? Yeah, it's a community. And if you're genuinely good people, it tends to stick together.
Totally.
Like, I had an hour conversation with Brandon Gertz like 2 days ago on the phone. Like,
he's the best.
Like we could record, our phone conversations or like, it's much more than the podcast, right? It's like true friendships, like getting to hang out with you guys at Metallica. Well, it's interesting
because of the guests
right?
that you have seem to all be very much cut from the same cloth, but like from so many vast arrays of life, like just different categories, different lifestyles and different life paths, but like cut from the same sort of character.
Commonality, though, wise, I think the biggest thing is they're all good people. Like there's not...
I don't think you have a lot of capacity to like fake the funk. Like you don't give me that impression. No. And so to have a guest on, I don't feel like you're inviting a lot of phonies on for views.
No. And believe me, we've had them reach out. Like I've had some huge people reach out. And I'm so lucky with the friends that I've had that I've been able to call Beto and be like, is this guy a good dude or like...
Beto will tell you.
And he's like, well, you can do whatever you want. But, I've had my friends, the community, save my ass because I'm able to call
She's like, I don't
Chris
want to be
and
associated
like, hey, do you know
with
this fighter?
People.
Is he a good dude? Or like, because it's crazy. Now I'm at a point where people are coming out of the woodwork and they want to be on. Like they look at the guest list and they're like, this is something I want to be a part of.
I love it.
And I have to vet them. That's like the hardest part is like telling
You're like,
somebody
sorry,
no.
you didn't make the cut. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
But I hate telling people no, but I can normally tell, like if you have the time to get on the phone with me and talk for 30 minutes, I'm old school. Like then we can record a podcast. That's
well, and like you said, you can learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
You can literally learn
and
something someone else is always going to be a better, more expert at you. So learn something. So you could talk to a brick wall. I'm sure you could have any guest on here, but it's cool that you have such a vetting process where you only accept the authentic people that resonate with your listeners. I think that's why
it means a lot to me, right? Because I don't want somebody to come in and bullshit me, or I don't want somebody to come in and
be like Derek Wolf on that.
No, I'm
Shout out,
honored to have Derek. Derek probably doesn't know this about me, but I am like the biggest Denver Broncos fan. Like grew up like bleeding blue and orange. Like my family would probably the only thing that they would disown me for. Like I could show up at a rehab. I could show up at their place at midnight.
But don't come wearing
But you better not come home a Raiders
jersey.
fan. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you're only a Broncos fan. Like that was just bred into me. And then watching it all. And then I'm so lucky with the career that I had. I got to do a bunch of the Super Bowl halftimes, and I was on the sidelines for all of Super Bowl 50, like the entire thing, all but
cool.
like 2 minutes before the halftime show.
I love it.
And like they're celebrating, like giving Wolf high five. He probably doesn't remember. Like it was all swagged out and Bronco. Of course he doesn't remember me, but like it's like the height of their career, you know, like getting hugs from CJ Anderson. They're so jacked up. It's the pinnacle of
I can't
their
even
career.
imagine that.
And
like,
I was so
joy.
excited.
Yeah.
And you're going to hug the first person you see in Broncos shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he's happy too. You know what I mean? Like, that's human connection to me.
Yeah.
Like, so
love that.
I'm so lucky. Like, I got to be a part. So I think part of it was me. I wasn't really like starstruck, but like it meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I over prepared. Like this conversation, I didn't think about it at all today, really. I was just like, I can't wait to hang out with Whitney.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. I love it.
yeah. What do you have? We're coming up on time, but what do you have coming up that you want to plug or?
You know what? Just
Can you
check
believe
out-
it's been 2 hours?
It hasn't been 2?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I love it.
We can keep going. Do you have to
No.
be anywhere by a certain time? Or?
I mean, I just got to pee soon.
Okay. Let's go for like another 10 or something. Drop whatever you got going on or coming up and like.
So what do we have going on? We have, well, first of all, try the gut health straw because it's amazing. It's our recent product launch. You're going to keep the box and take it every day.
Nice.
Yes. We have
I could use this.
Yeah, we have
Zero sugar too. I like that.
Zero sugar. It's all like super clean whole
Nothing
food
pisses me off
ingredients.
more than when like people create a supplement that I would want to take and I go and look at the sugar
Like,
content.
it's so
I'm
much
like,
sugar, or it's
why
like,
is it
or it's
5
like an
grams?
artificial sugar that's terrible for you.
Right.
Yes, this is monk fruit. It's sweetened with monk
I
fruit.
love monk fruit.
You know, we've been working. I mean, I'm going to LA. I'll be filming a show. It's sort of like a take on Shark Tank. We're helping young entrepreneurs
Really?
kind of like, it's called Making a Brand. We're helping young entrepreneurs flesh out their business ideas and because they want to come to market with their own brand, similar to like what I've done. And so I'm going to be doing this show. Brandon T. Jackson's on there. There's Soulja Boy.
Really?
There's Holly Barker, Trey Songz. There's some fun celebrity guests and judges where people are presenting their business ideas to us. And, there's some comedy in it too, but we will kind of shoot it to them straight. So that's coming up here soon.
What network is it gonna, like a Netflix thing?
I
or is it
believe it's Hulu. I have to look at
Nice.
where we're streaming it. I'm not part of the production
That'll be
team,
fun, though.
but it's a
Yeah.
fun little project that I'm going to just be a celebrity guest on, or I'm part of the mentorship where I'm helping people kind of flesh out their idea on bringing a brand to market, because it's not for the faint of heart, and it's also requires a lot. And so a company called Shift is putting on that production that I'm involved with that carry my line of products.
Oh, cool.
So it's just a line of distribution for me, and they're great people out there, but they have this fun, cool show project going on. Chris and I are launching another retreat. That will be TBD. We're deciding on the location. We had that cool Greece retreat, which was awesome. And then we have another one coming up probably next spring. So that's happening. We have more products in the works. We got the gels happening, more of the straws happening. We're involved with Ice Wars right now. I don't know if you've seen the Ice Wars.
Yeah, you guys did comment. We didn't even talk about that.
The Ice Wars thing was wild.
Yeah.
So that's a whole...
So BKFC is licensed.
BKFC.
Okay.
It's a division of BKFC, Bare Knuckle. And it's basically hockey fights without the hockey.
Yes.
It's just straight out hockey brawls. And it's a lot of fun. I was doing the sideline reporting for their first event, and then Chris was doing commentary.
Nice.
So we're probably going to come back.
2 episodes ago, we had the very first king crowned of Ice Wars, Daniel Amesbury.
Amesbury, we love him.
I love Amesy.
He's awesome.
Such a good dude.
Yeah. He's a legend in fights, hockey fights. He's created a name for himself, a little scrapper. But yeah, that's fun. We're doing that. That's kind of blowing up. You know, they're getting backed by the BKFC organization, which is cool. But you know, that's a whole learning curve too.
That's rad. Those are cool events to go to. I actually went to one and set Dasher side, I guess it would be. It was a good time.
It's fun.
It was a good time. Yeah.
I mean, the fights are super entertaining. Whitney John's Nutrition is an official sponsor of the. So, you know, like I said, we're big on sponsoring fighters and just like helping support fighters. They need support because they're out here fighting for their lives, and that, you know, not just with supplements, but also exposure. And so I'm proud to help with whatever we can with fighters. And yeah, what else do we have? I mean, we're just always working. It's never ending.
So if people want some personal, do you do personal training still?
So
or is it like training programs, right?
Programs.
Okay.
So your nutrition and your training programs. I do take a few Zoom training clients. So I work remotely, but I still train a few clients one-on-one. And then I do your program, whether it's diet and nutrition and fitness training programs. And then we have your, you know, the supplementation side of it too. So WinnieJohns.com. Yeah.
Okay.
WinnieJohns.com or findyourfitwithwit.com is my training programs. And yeah, I'm available. I'm here.
Rad.
I love to help people learn what I've learned the hard way. So it's a lot. It's a learning curve.
You're going to be helping me soon.
Yes.
That's rad. And then Instagram handle.
At Whitney Johns, JOHNS.
All right. And then you also have an Instagram handle for the products too, right?
Whitney Johns Nutrition is the supplement page.
All right. So give those both a follow.
We're doing a July sale right now, by the way, 20% off. Use code FREEDOM.
Freedom. That's huge. Yeah,
yes.
freedom.
All the month of July.
Yes. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Try this. Try it. You'll love it.
Okay. If you're listening to this right now and you don't know how to type into a computer or you want to make it super easy, open the show notes. We'll have direct links to both WhitneyJohns.com, Instagram pages. We'll have it all up there. BKFC, Ice Wars, all that stuff. If you want to send me a link for the TV show or whatever, we can add that too.
Yeah.
We'll add whatever links you want. So
perfect.
If you're listening right now, super simple. Open the show notes or visit themountainside.com. It's a one-stop shop for all the clips and highlights and links, and everything that you need is there. So, all right. Whitney, thank you so much for the gifts.
Much for having
These
me
things
on.
are badass.
Cheers one last time.
I love hanging out with you.
It's always a pleasure.
Becca, thank you.
Becca,
Good
you're
job.
a rock star.
See ya. Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. If you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com.